Legacy IS Academy. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about India-Malaysia relationship. Now, why are we discussing about India-Malaysia relationship? Is because the Prime Minister of Malaysia has recently made a visit to India. Okay? So, talking about the relationship, the history of relationship and in pre-independence era and mostly about the ancient history. Ancient history. ठीक है एंशियंट हिस्ट्री में Cholas had occupied the Malaysian territory also. So Cholas had control over majority part. We know that Cholas used to call Bay of Bengal as the Chola Lake. ठीक है So they were having a huge naval power, and in possession of this huge naval power, they were occupying, conquering, and even ruling over majority parts of Malaysian territory. ठीक है But post-independence, the first diplomatic relationship between India and Malaysia was established in 1957. ठीक है But 1957 से चलते चलते 1960s आते आते by 1960s, because of the personal relationship between Prime Minister of India and Prime Minister of Malaysia, we have had seen a very good relationship established between India and Malaysia. ठीक है So it has started to improve along 1960s, and 2015 आते आते we have signed strategic partnership agreements also. ठीक है So 2015 से it has continuously improved with one or two hiccups. We'll see where are the challenges. ठीक है Now talking about the areas of cooperation, in what all areas have we integrated ourselves with Malaysia? ठीक है First major integration is in terms of geopolitics. So geopolitics में India and Malaysia have common grouping in NAM. So non-alignment is the one of the principal foreign policy, foundational foreign policy of Malaysia as well as India. But apart from NAM, both of us are also members of ASEAN Plus. Okay? So ASEAN has extension also. ASEAN we know has 10 core members, but then there is an extension of ASEAN which extends up to ASEAN plus 3 and ASEAN plus 6. So India is a member of ASEAN plus 6. Okay? Apart from this, we are also, India and Malaysia together are also members of East Asia Summit. Okay? So we do have common groupings. Apart from this, geopolitics mein, if we talk about the diplomatic relationship of India and the diplomatic relationship of Malaysia, so both of us have a common stand on China's dominance in the South China Sea also. ठीक है China exhibiting its presence and aggressively showcasing its presence in South China Sea is criticized by Malaysia also. It is criticized by India also. Although Malaysia has not outrightly spoken about it, but through their diplomatic channels, they have time and again stated this fact that South China Sea is available and open to all the countries who are neighboring that region, and not one single country owns this South China Sea region. Okay? So the geopolitics also runs along the same track between parallel to India and Malaysia. Okay? The second area of cooperation is the defense cooperation. So we do have joint military exercises, and in 1993, India and Malaysia have signed defense cooperation memorandum. So what is exactly defense cooperation memorandum? I will be helping you in development of your defense, or you will be helping me in development of my defense. Okay? So overall, defense equipment manufacturing में India and Malaysia are collaborating through defense cooperation memorandum. Okay? Third one area of cooperation is the economic cooperation. So economic cooperation में India and Malaysia are significant investors. We have invested in their manufacturing sector, we have invested in their services, we have invested in the technology development of Malaysia, okay, to a great extent. India also imports palm oil, although we significantly import or maximally import palm oil from Indonesia, but apart from Indonesia, we are also importing palm oil from Malaysia. Okay? Apart from palm oil, we also import wood and vegetable and animal fat from Malaysia. In return, we do export to Malaysia whatever we are exporting to majority rest of the world. That includes meat industry, that is fishes. Okay? As we know, India is one of the largest exporters of prawns or shrimps. So we export the same to Malaysia as well. But apart from this, we are also very well known across the world for generic medicine. So pharmaceutical also becomes one of the major exports from India. Apart from this, we also export mineral oil, copper and iron and steel to Malaysia. Okay. Talking about the diaspora, this is also one of the major area of cooperation. We have approximately 3 million Indian population who are residing in Malaysia. Indians are actually have been living in Malaysia for a very long period of time, so they've lost the citizenship of India. But because they are originally Indians, so they are categorized as person of Indian origin or PIO community in Malaysia. Now, Indians comprise of second largest PIO community in Malaysia apart from Americans. Okay? And culturally also, we do have so many temples that are being built in Malaysia, or the historic collaboration between India and Malaysia. So they do have repositories of Chola's presence in Malaysian territory. Okay? So that is how we have collaborated with Malaysia in various dimensions such as defense, exports and all that. Okay? Now, the Prime Minister, as we discussed, visited India. So, what are the major takeaways? What were the outcome of the summit between the Prime Minister of India and the Prime Minister of Malaysia? The first important outcome was comprehensive strategic partnership. Okay? So, you can call this key strategic partnership mein we have moved to the next level. Okay? So, comprehensive strategic partnership matlab goods and services mein both of us will be collaborating. Okay? Second is agreements on certain agreements have been signed on worker mobility, digital technology, culture, tourism, sports and education. Apart from this, Malaysia has also proposed to India that they want to become members of BRICS Plus. Okay? And India has promised that we will take forward their request to the BRICS members and get it approved. Okay? So BRICS support may be, there has been a major outcome that they have shown their willingness to become party to this, and we have accepted the request. Okay? Apart from this, strategic rice export agreement may we have promised to them that we will be giving them 2 lakh metric tons of rice will be handed over from India to Malaysia. Okay? Agreements on traditional systems of medicine has also been signed, and extradition and counter terrorism. Extradition and counter terrorism, because there is one individual who is residing in Malaysia who has been charged for hate speech being made in India, and Malaysia has not released them. They have not extradited that person. So it was very important that we have to sign extradition and counter terrorism agreements with Malaysia. Okay? Now let us see, after the agreement being signed, do we get to hold that person or not? But as of now, we'll see that under the challenges. Okay? So those were the key takeaways. Now talking about the challenges between India-Malaysia relationship, and the first major challenge is Zakir Naik himself. Okay? As we discussed, this individual has been booked for hate speech as well as money laundering activities being carried out in India. Okay? And this person is residing in Malaysia, and Malaysia has not released this individual. So that has become one of the major point of contention between India and Malaysia relationship. And that is why it was very important that we need to sign that extradition treaty with Malaysia. Okay? Secondly, they have criticized India's internal policies. For example, abrogation of Article 370, okay, or the Ayodhya Ram Mandir issue. So they have criticized whatever we have decided for ourselves. Now that is a very big question on sovereignty. India or the government of India can decide anything for their own people, but we do not welcome or do not appreciate any criticism from outside world. Okay. Third thing is economic challenges. There is a huge trade disparity. Even if India's investment in Malaysia has been significantly high, they are still the 26th largest investor in India. Okay? So their investments to India has been quite low. In fact, India's investment in Malaysia has been very high. So this leads to trade imbalance, or rather trade balance in favor of India and against Malaysia. Now that will become a point of contention in due course of time. Okay? Next problem is that of diaspora. So we do have the issues of illegal immigration also. So illegal immigration of Indians have been found in Indians who have illegally migrated to Malaysia have been found in Malaysia, or the workers, Indian workers who are working in Malaysia, they are facing exploitation. Apart from this, there are also registered cases of human trafficking which is taking place in Malaysia. The people are being trafficked. Okay? So that introduces one major challenge in India and Malaysia relationship. And last but not the least is the Chinese influence. Although Malaysia has an anti-stance over China's dominance in South China Sea, but if we talk about in general, okay, in general, Malaysia has been taking more decisions in favor of China, or rather, China's investment in Malaysia has been significantly high as compared to India's investment. So that poses a major challenge. Obviously, Malaysian government will turn towards Chinese side anytime they need some kind of other major help. Okay. So that was about the challenges. Now talking about the way forward. So what can be the suggestive steps that we need to take in improving the India-Malaysia relationship? The first step that we can take is signing off a comprehensive economic cooperation agreement. Comprehensive economic cooperation agreement is a form of free trade agreement. So if India and Malaysia signs comprehensive economic cooperation agreement, so we will be able to carry out barrier free trade between these two countries. Okay? Second thing is closer economic cooperation. What we need to engage with Malaysia is we need to have air connectivity, increased air connectivity between India and Malaysia. We also need to avoid a double taxation. So in majority of the goods that are either being manufactured or processed or packaged in either of these countries, we tend to, because of the faulty taxation policies, we tend to doubly tax them on the Indian territory also, on the Malaysian territory also, which in fact reduces the investment to a significant extent. So we need to focus on avoiding the double taxation, and we also need to focus on the mutual customs assistance. Mutual customs assistance matlab the customs laws or the customs duty that are being imposed should be in line with each other from the Indian government side also, from the Malaysian government side also. So customs duty ke terms mein we should be or customs ke terms mein we should be providing them assistance. ठीक है? Next area of next way forward, suggestive solution can be in defense technology. We both these countries need to invest in defense technology for two principal reasons. First is it will improve the regional stability, regional peace will be inculcated in this area, and second, it will also help in defense capabilities, development of defense capabilities of these two countries. And lastly, we also need to focus on the ASEAN integration. Okay? So Malaysia can be the focal point for India, which we can use, we can leverage to enter into better negotiations with ASEAN. Now we know, and in general, ASEAN has very closer ties to China. Okay? But we need to make use of Malaysia as a focal point, as a point, a leverage point to better integrate with ASEAN. Okay? Plus, there is also one of the point of contention that India has not, or rather backed out from the membership of RCEP, that has also introduced some kind of inhibition, some kind of speculation in the market that India doesn't want to get engaged with ASEAN countries. Now, to allay all such kind of rumors that are running, we also need to better engage with ASEAN by making use of Malaysia. Okay? So with that, we come to the end of this video. Now, I do have a question for you guys. Malaysia is bordered by two water bodies, the Malaysian Peninsula. Okay? What are those two water bodies on east and west side of the Malaysian Peninsula specifically? Do let us know in the comment section. And if you have any other doubt, also please let us know about that. Thank you so much and all the best.